Oh, hello.
Oh, hello.
And welcome to the Comic Queens podcast. I'm Alex.
And I'm Annie. And today we're extremely excited to do a free-for-all. It's a great way to start the year to make sure that we're all up to date on our latest exciting moments, maybe some grievances. But all in all, just making sure we know kind of what's going on in the webcomic world. So, Alex, go ahead. Start us out.
All right. I'm going to start out with a series that I just recently caught up on, Punderworld. I know that you were reading this. Are you still caught up on it?
Yes.
Okay. I adore this series. It is so cute. I love Hades and Persephone. So, of course, I was going to love this. But there is one thing that I find interesting about this. After having read Lore Olympus, where Apollo is the bad guy, I'm having a really hard time with Apollo being Persephone's best friend in this story. And I know it's not the same Apollo, but still I'm like having to get over that hurdle.
I was going to say, do you know what's more accurate to mythology?
I don't, but I am going to use one of my Audible credits to get Mythos read by Stephen Fry. So I will report back.
Yeah, I will expect a full report. I'm curious. I didn't read Lore Olympus, so obviously I have no grievances there, but the entire story is great. What do you think about the art style being different?
Oh my gosh.
Do you think it fits?
I adore the art style. Persephone is gorgeous. There are so many panels where I was just stopping to look at like the beautiful flowers, the duality of Hades versus Persephone and kind of the life and death of it all. It's just so pretty. The storyline with Demeter is very similar to Lore Olympus, and I think very similar to a traditional telling. That's every story that I've read about Hades and Persephone. Demeter has been the overprotective mother who keeps Persephone away from all of the other gods, and there are a lot of shades coming into the underworld that are unknown. Do you know what's going to happen?
Only because you told me.
Oh, did I tell you? Darn it.
You can tell me again if you want to.
No, it's okay. Persephone she killed them all.
Yeah.
She had an episode.
Don't we all, Persephone?
She killed a bunch of mortals. But in her defense, at least in Lore Olympus, the mortals were not living up to their agreement to let the nymphs live in a certain area and the mortals would live in a certain area, and they were pulling up flowers, which was killing the nymphs. And Persephone grew up with them. Those are like family to her, and she was very upset, and she fought back in maybe not the healthiest way, but it was a way to deal with it.
Maybe unalived a couple people. It's fine.
Just a few.
Yeah. I think I'd do the same. Screw it.
Yeah.
You've got powers. There were rules.
Yeah.
You didn't follow them. I love when she has, like, the crown of all of the different, like, interchanging things. So it'll be just, like, sticks and twigs, and then, like, flowers bloom on it, or it's, like, little buds.
Or thorns when
and
she's
thorns.
mad.
And it all just coincides with her mood. I love it.
I love it so much.
I'm so glad you caught up on it. It's so exciting.
There's also another Hades and Persephone story on Webtoon that I will be reading as well to do a comparison.
You have to.
I just bought another physical graphic novel called Office Gods. And so I'm just going to read every single one and compare them.
I think that we're going to have a Greek mythology episode coming up.
I think so.
Yeah. And honestly, there are a lot of them. So I think we'll have some pretty good choices.
Yeah.
Different stories to choose from.
Yeah.
So it'll be good. Well, I have a bunch of exciting stuff to talk about. First and foremost, on a series that I recently caught back up on. It's called I Thought My Time Was Up. I know I've talked to you about this series several times before, mostly because the main characters are just so cute. And to the point, I've almost forgotten what the main plot point was. So as like a brief reminder, Lariette is told by a doctor that she has this terrible disease and that she's dying. And she goes, oh, okay, well, how long do I have to live? And they're like, I think it was like 3 months or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like, I'm just going to do whatever the hell I want. And she walks up to the most like terrifying and menacing Duke of this manor, and his name's Azrahan, and she goes, hey, I'll cure you of your curse that makes you smell like rotting flesh if we can like start dating each other.
Mm-hmm.
And he agrees. And so they form the most adorable, loving relationship. There's also a priest who turns out to be like the Pope, like the highest priest, who falls in love with her and pretends to be like a lowly priest so that he can like help give her energy and mana back after her curing sessions for Azrahan. And he's pining for her affections. But it came back from a season end. I kind of fell off for a second. And where we left off, you find out that because the high priest has been healing her, he actually healed her disease. So she's not dying anymore. But she had already run away while Azrahan was at war because she thought it would be easier for them to like part ways if he didn't intervene. And so now she's going to have to clear up the misunderstanding of Azrahan just got back from war and she's not there.
Oh my gosh. Did she leave like a note saying, I'm sorry, I had to leave?
She's just like, oh, you know, it was a contractual relationship. Like, you're cured and I have to go now.
Aww.
And she doesn't feel that way, but there have been like a lot of rumors swirling around her being like, oh, she must have fled because she was a traitor.
Mm-hmm.
And so now people are looking for her who aren't Azrahan, and they're like, we're going to kill her. So she's like trying to find Azrahan, but that's where everyone knows she's going to want to go. And so she can't go back to him yet.
Yeah.
But it's gotten so good. I literally forgot that the main plot point is that she was dying and now she's not. And that's like dealing with all those consequences. But it's gotten so good. And I just love it. And I hate Doha so much. I'm like, you're a priest. You're supposed to be chaste. Leave her alone.
Okay, I was going to ask, do you want this to be like a reverse harem situation?
No.
No.
Also, Azrahan and Doha wouldn't want it to be either because they hate each other.
Oh, that's fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's sad because Doha's like the long, white-haired male lead.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, okay. Like, you want to like him.
Yeah.
But he's just kind of insufferable to me.
Aww.
I don't know. Personal opinion.
Well, can't wait to see where that goes.
I think most anybody else is like, this should be reverse harem right now. And, yeah. I don't know. I don't like him.
Well, I'm glad you caught up on that one.
Yeah, me too.
I also recently caught up on a bunch of series, so this is just me patting myself on the back.
Good job. I'm proud of you.
I was very behind on everything on Leeson that we're both reading. So I caught up on The Ghost Nocturne, Triads and Tribulation, Pearl Boy, and then a couple that you aren't reading, Turning and Phantom of the Opera.
Mm-hmm.
And I did all of that in one day. So I am now caught up, going to read week to week for all of these stories. A couple of high points. Pearl Boy, now that he's recovered his memories.
Oh my gosh.
I love them so much. I just cannot get over it.
I know. I guess that brings us to grievance number 1, which is it's a season 1 end of the side story.
Yeah.
So I don't know how long the break is going to be.
I don't know either, but I am excited that I knew that we were going to get our fluff eventually. We have all waited and waited patiently, not so patiently.
Not patiently on our end.
And this is our reward.
This is a reward. And honestly, it's a pretty good one.
Mm-hmm.
This entire side story was very steamy. And also, I'm so happy to have them back together again.
Oh my gosh.
And for them to just be happy.
Their breakdown at the frozen, I think it's a lake, is just heartbreaking.
It was honestly like tears in your eyes. You just, like, you know everything they've been through.
Mm-hmm.
How hard their lives have been.
We've all been through it with them.
Every step of the way. But honestly, it's been very cathartic.
I love the series. I hope it goes on forever. The art is absolutely gorgeous. Even the episode where they were just crying to each other, it was beautiful.
It really was.
So I was very excited to catch up on that. The Ghost Nocturne, also beautiful. I am just loving Leenock and Jason's relationship right now. I would love there to not be the turmoil from the queen and the supposed best friend, whose name I can't remember, Kyung-joon.
Yeah, we don't need to remember.
Yeah, if they could just leave and we could just have a little happily ever after with Jason and Leenock, that would be great.
We did get that little bit of reprieve in the latest episode where Leenock gets to speak with Jason's brothers.
Oh my gosh, I loved that.
And he's getting all the childhood stories.
He's so excited to get the childhood stories.
Eyes sparkling.
I loved it. There was also a great disgruntled puppy moment. Him as a puppy when he's angry is the cutest thing I have ever seen. I love it.
So, speaking of angry puppies, I have found a new series that you're going to love. Mm-hmm. It just came out in December, so it'll be super easy and quick for you to catch up on. It's only 10 episodes so far. It's called Paws and Claws. So it's a world where people are shapeshifters. And so you have like a human form, you have an animal form. Depending on how exhausted you are, can grab onto and like take on some of your animal attributes in your human form. Because your animal form is like the most primal. So that's what you go to when you're like depleted of energy or, like when you're at your most feral, whatever. And then, as you're getting like more depleted of energy, things like that in your human form, you'll get like your ears back or your tail or whatever. And then you'll slowly transform. So the story revolves around Gyeon Hee-song. He works at a casino. He's a dog shifter. So he turns into a dog, but not just any dog. He turns into like the tiniest little white fluffy puppy. And we're talking like Jason puppy levels of adorable.
Oh my gosh.
However, he works at this casino. He's getting constantly hit on by these other animal shifters who come in. One of them is like a horse shifter. The others are like wolf shifters. And the wolf shifters are a part of a huge gang conglomerate. Mm-hmm. And so like they really have to be taking themselves, very professionally. They don't want to piss off these people in the gang. And obviously he's a little tiny puppy. He can't do very much. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, he's got a terrible temper. So the horse shifter ends up like smacking his ass and propositioning him. And he like practically lunges for his neck and like starts getting all pissed. And the main like wolf gang leader takes note of him. And so as Hee-song goes back and talks to his boss is like, hey, you have to go and get this delivery of an item for me. And then, we can hang out and you can kind of decompress, whatever. And it is obviously drugs. Mm-hmm. So he's going to get it. He's like, I'm going to get this and I'm going to be fine. He has to go up against the wolf shifter to do it. And the wolf shifter gives it to him, but not before getting punched in the face by Hee-song because he said something that pissed him off. And so this wolf shifter is just like, okay, I guess I'm just going to let you do your own thing. Hee-song gets jumped in the alleyway for the drugs. And because he got hurt so bad, he reverts back into his puppy self. Aww. And the wolf leader ends up taking him in. He's like, who would ditch this adorable little puppy? And so he takes him in, gets him tested by a doctor. And they're like, oh, he has really low pheromones. He's not a shifter. He's just a puppy. And so he takes him in. And you can tell that this wolf shifter knows that it's Hee-song. But he's just so taken with him and his shitty little attitude. And he decides to keep him and take care of him like a little puppy. So he bonds with him as his pet. And Hee-song like kind of just keeps quiet to himself.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
It is adorable. And I will show you the picture.
That is a very similar disgruntled puppy.
It's a very similar disgruntled puppy. The male lead, also Yoon Shi-young, he's gorgeous. Mm-hmm. So I highly recommend it. disgruntled puppy energy every single episode.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I'll definitely have to read that one along with you, especially since I can catch up so quickly.
I know. That's the best time to do it, because otherwise we get behind on like 80-something episodes.
Oh my gosh, I know. So I also caught up on Turning, which that, if you'll remember, is the least Omegaverse story that we talked about in our Omegaverse episode.
I remember very specifically that you didn't mention anything about the Omegaverse until after you were done describing the story. So I'm curious now if it has more of that.
So I did mean to say that at the beginning of that episode, but I didn't. I feel like it worked, though. There is still no Omegaverse in this Omegaverse series.
I'm so confused.
So they do mention it. Here's the thing. They have gone back into the past. This is like a regression story where the main character, Uter, he is killed in the very beginning, and then he goes back to the beginning of the timeline where this red stone falls to earth and gives certain people powers. They call it their powers awakening, and everyone has different powers. Uter's powers are very strong, and then this red stone also brought about a second gender that not everyone gets, but some people do. So in his past life, he was an Omega. But he has thought in his head, like, I'm not presenting as an Omega yet, and I'm not going to say anything until that actually happens. So it's like there, I guess, but not really.
Do you think it's called Turning because in acting like he's not an Omega, he does change his fate?
They're definitely changing their fates right now because he knows what happened in the past. He's trying to prevent it from happening again because the world gets destroyed in his past life and he dies.
Probably not great.
He doesn't like that, so he's trying to change it.
He doesn't like that.
No.
I wouldn't either.
So what he does is Uter is not acting the way that he was acting before, and he's very confident in himself because he knows that his powers are strong.
Yeah.
And so Kasher has taken note of him. Kasher is the leader he's a duke, and he is related to the emperor. He's also the leader of the awakened army. And so Uter has helped a couple of other people get in where he knows that their powers will be helpful, and they didn't make it into the army in the last version of his life. So they are all, like, they've already changed the first mission. Their first mission was to go and get this red stone, which is the red stone that brought powers to everyone, and no one can touch it or get near it. But the awakened are able to approach it. They still can't touch it, though, so they have to figure out how to get it and bring it back to the emperor. They do end up bringing it back, but it's not the same team who brought it back in the past life. It's different. And Kasher is enamored with Uter and, like, trying to get him to sleep with him, and then moves on to saying, like, I really just want you to advise me, and I want you to lead this part of the team, and ends up making him his assistant. It, like, makes a role for him so that he can stay by his side.
Yeah.
Love it. Uter knows in the past, when they take the red stone to the emperor, he gives it to the sorcerers, and the sorcerers kind of shape it and shave it down like you would do if you have a raw diamond and you shape it into a diamond for, like, a ring or something.
Yeah.
They do that to this stone, and it loses all of its power, or it loses a significant portion of its power. And so Uter is trying to figure out, like, he's like, we need to figure out what is at the center of the stone. We can't let the sorcerers do this. So he convinces Kasher to convince the emperor to let them work on the stone and try and figure out things about it and, like, be the ones who are learning and telling everyone what they need to do instead of the sorcerers. You're finding out there's all of the family politics with people who are, the emperor is kind of sick, and the emperor's brother is trying to take over, and he's against Kasher, and there's just, typical family dynamics that you see in those kind of historical stories. But then also there is the awakened powers that you see in more similar to a video game series. So I still love this one. I'm definitely going to keep reading it week to week. It's just so good.
Yeah, I know. I knew you loved this one. And honestly, I've been curious about if the Omegaverse was going to come back.
I will keep you updated.
Yeah.
So far, not so much.
Okay. I'm really curious about it. Like, whenever I see stories like that, why did you make it an Omegaverse? Like, it's such a good and functional story before any of that. Mm-hmm. And it's not playing any part in this right now.
I will be interested to see if once they do introduce it, because I do think they will.
Okay.
If it has any significant impact on the story or if it makes it better or worse, but I'll let you know.
Yeah, I want a full report back again. Okay, so since this is the space that I can do it, I would like to air some grievances that I have. First and foremost, Nove. I feel like I'm getting blue-balled. I want our boys to be back together.
Oh my gosh, I am one episode behind. So...
Well, sorry for the spoiler.
They're still not together.
They're still not together.
They've moved to the 70s. It's supposed to be our time.
This is our time. And I'm just so sad. Obviously, I'm going to continue reading. It's not like a serious grievance. I'm just...
Yeah.
sad.
It's a gorgeous, gorgeous story.
I know.
I adore it. Again, you can read this on Webtoon and Tapas. I also saw that the version on Tapas has been revamped and they are adding in additional details. So if you haven't read it, maybe read it there or read it in both places like I'm doing.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I just never really explore Tapas, which I know is wonderful and has like the widest array of stories.
It does.
I probably should. If for nothing else, for Nove.
Yeah.
But I haven't yet. So maybe I will one day. But the other thing I wanted to air my grievance about, which I think you'll actually be supportive of, Maybe Meant to Be came back from hiatus. Mm-hmm. So I was really excited. Like, I would say a lot of people are, except if you're Alex.
Yeah.
You're because sometimes you're wrong.
What's her name? Gia?
Gia.
Yeah, you're sick of Gia's shit.
No, the plot has just like gone in a very weird direction.
Oh.
So I'm not like fully caught up. But the first 3 episodes coming back, they got stranded on a desert island. And I know for a fact that where our story left off in season 1. With them being like, wow, we're officially going to be a married couple. So you're probably thinking to yourself, how are they on a desert island?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm asking myself the same thing.
It doesn't say how they got there?
It explains it very loosely. That they were on like some fishing boat with Gia's parents, like celebrating an anniversary or something.
Maybe it's
and then a big wave comes and crashes onto the boat and they wash ashore.
Oh my gosh. Maybe it's a metaphorical desert island and it's because Gia is so awful.
I think you're going to say like they've hit a dry patch in like their romantic sexual relationship.
No, I was gonna say something about how she just like is horrible at emotions and horrible at communication and just the absolute worst.
You know what's so interesting? In these 3 episodes,
she's communicating
She's
better.
Actually been really communicative.
You know what? I just can't get over the past.
Maybe they're listening to you.
Maybe. They've heard my grievance.
They've heard your grievance.
Talk. Just talk. It's just, I can't. I just can't.
The hands are up.
It's my forever grievance.
It's true. You are not a miscommunications person.
No.
So.
I mean, I'll take it if it's a good one.
Yeah.
I have seen several instances of really good miscommunications.
Yeah.
So it can be done well, but I hate it when it's the same one over and over and over again. I'm like, just end the story.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, if they can't communicate, what is there left? But I have hopes for this one. Whenever they're off the deserted island.
Yeah, let me know if they make it back.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe they've just become tribe people now. They'll start their own little tribe of people.
It's the Swiss Family Robinson, but without the family.
Yeah, there you go. It's perfect. And last, but very much not least, I do have a grievance which is that the text for Heaven Official's Blessing is still really small, so I can't read it.
Yeah. And we can't find the physical copy for
We
you.
can't, and we've looked everywhere.
We have. You know what? I heard maybe we need to take a trip to Barnes & Noble tomorrow.
A little birdie said that?
A little birdie told me that, so we might have to go and see if it's there again.
When birds tell you things, you have to listen.
You have to listen.
I don't make the rules. That's mostly all for my grievances.
Okay, I like a list of grievances. I do have one more story that I caught up on that I want to talk about, which is Phantom of the Opera.
Oh, yeah.
So this is also an Omegaverse, and it is very Omegaverse. It's got a lot of abuse in it as just a trigger warning.
That's so common in the Omegaverse ones.
It is.
I don't support it.
Yeah, and it's horrible. I guess fortunately, the Phantom, he kills all the people who have harmed our main character, Chris Day. I don't know how accurate it is. I don't feel like it's very accurate.
I mean, if the Omegaverse, here's my idea, because I haven't read this.
Yeah.
If the Omegaverse is playing a big part in this story, then it is not accurate.
Yeah. Okay. So the main character probably doesn't get abused multiple times by multiple people.
No.
Okay. The main character doesn't have a fated mate that he's been kidnapped.
No.
And was he kidnapped? The main character
kind of, yeah.
Kidnapped? Yeah.
Kind of.
And taken?
Yeah.
And the Phantom, like, made it so that the main character couldn't perform in the opera so that the main character could perform in the opera?
Yes.
Wait. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The main character of the opera.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put butter on her stairs.
I don't think that was...
That is what happened.
I don't believe so.
Okay, that's what happens here. And then when that didn't work, he threw in some food poisoning. This poor main character of the opera.
Was it butter?
I don't know.
That is the most ridiculous and very specific thing ever.
That does remind me, we have a family joke. My grandma, she remembers stories that none of us remember.
Were you there for these?
Oh, they're about us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't think that she is. I don't think they're true.
Okay.
But one of the first times she met my husband, she says that he put way too much butter on his toast. So it's a huge family joke now where, like, every time we go to her house, she, like, gets out a separate thing of butter for him.
I love this.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
You know what? And you can just tell him, be like, you don't have a butter problem until you start putting it on people's stairs.
Yeah, and maybe poisoning them with it. We don't know.
We don't know.
So, yeah,
who's to say?
All of that happened. The Phantom is keeping Chris Day in the, I don't know, where he lives underneath, which, does he live in, like, a mansion under the opera?
I
Like,
mean,
very extravagant meals.
It's very extravagant. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So he's having
Candlelit,
he's having his very extravagant meals. They're, like, you know, connecting, whatever.
I think that once you finish this story, we should celebrate by watching Phantom of the Opera.
And I can tell you how wrong the story is.
Yes.
Because right now where we're at, Chris Day is having his personal crisis because he likes the Phantom and he likes being with the Phantom, but he's also like, I have my fated mate, Ralph, and I think it is.
I believe you. It just sounds so funny.
Well, yeah, so he's conflicted, and then the fated mate, Ralph, is like, I'm going to go find Chris.
It gave off the same energy as We Deserve Each Other, Don't We Balk?
Yeah. Okay.
My fated mate, Ralph.
I have one more. I have one more thing to see if it's real. Mm-hmm. Does the Phantom have a friend who is, like, helping him out?
I don't remember.
Okay, well, I guess we'll see when I'm forced to watch this. Is there another version that doesn't have that girl as the main character?
I mean, maybe if we saw, like, a live version of it somewhere.
All right, I guess we have to go see a live version somewhere.
A live opera. That's
hey,
right.
I went to an opera with our other friend.
I know.
The Adventures of Cavalier and Clay, which is based on a graphic novel, and it was great. So, I'd go see it.
Have you read that graphic novel yet?
I have not.
Have you found it yet?
I have not. But once I do, I will buy it and I will read it.
Again, the birdies told us we have to go to Barnes & Noble.
I mean, the stars are aligning. What can we do? I need a notebook. I have a confession to make.
Okay. That's the perfect space to do it.
Yeah, not to you because you were there.
Oh, okay.
But to the people. We went to our local bookstore tonight so that I could get a planner to match a planner that Annie has. I did not find a planner, but what I did find was several books, which was going to be one of my highlights for our free-for-all. I found Castle Swimmer, which was on my list of my New Year's resolutions list. Mm-hmm. I found the first 2 volumes of Covenant, also on my New Year's resolutions list.
Which is really just a steal.
It's just a steal. I found the Office Gods. Mm-hmm. I found Office Gods, which just sounds right up my alley.
It's a Greek mythology story.
And
an office romance.
And an office romance. And I found a story about Krampus, who I love.
I mean, really, you made out like a bandit.
I did. I did not intend to buy any books. I went for one notebook and came out with a full bag of books instead.
Well, I'm glad you're getting this out while your husband isn't here to hear it.
I know. He would maybe be a little disgruntled himself.
No. They blend in with the bookshelf. It's fine.
They do.
No one would even know. It's fine. So I have a series to catch you up on because I know that you are not caught up. Mm-hmm. I don't want to give too many super spoilers, but Punch Drunk Love has gotten so beautiful and precious. I love Sunwoo and Taemoon so much. I can't even put it into words. Mm-hmm. I just love them. They are perfect. They're the best couple ever. And right now, they're kind of going up against Taemoon's chairman father because he's trying to do all of this super shady shit in the background. And so he works with Sunwoo's parents to do like if you guys are really wanting to be together forever, let's do a family dinner. Mm-hmm. And he's just kind of trying to make things shitty. Mm-hmm. Like, they're talking about, like, all of the stuff they have going on in the background about some bad press and, like, the entire work situation where, you know, they were trying to get Sunwoo fired and then Taemoon kind of blew up about it. And Sunwoo's parents, of course, super supportive and sweet. We've met them already, the sweet little accounting parents. Mm-hmm. And the chairman is just like, oh, well, if you're willing to bring my, like, screw up of a son into this family, that's great. And so Sunwoo's parents, like, stop the chairman and they go, I don't know if this marriage can continue because you should never be talking like that about your son.
Aww.
Like, that is ridiculous. Like, we've met him. We know what a good person he is. Mm-hmm. And I don't feel that that reflects, like, the family values that we feel are really important. And so, like, Sunwoo, like, pulls the chairman aside and he's like, what are you doing? You're self-sabotaging right now. It is, like, the most cathartic moment ever where, like, Sunwoo and his family's, like, positivity are, like, just starting to, like, kill all the bad vibes around them.
Oh, my gosh.
And make everybody better. And you see Taemoon just, like, beaming from how much support and love he gets from Sunwoo's parents. And so, like, Sunwoo's trying to help the chairman out, too. He's like, I bet he's never even called you father because you don't treat him like a son.
Aww.
And, like, trying to give him, like, little, like, nice advice. It was so cute. I love them. It just makes me smile the entire time. Obviously, it's also a comedy, but it's in, like, the little fluff moments right now. And I'm here for it.
Oh, my gosh. I'm so glad because I know this is one that you love. And, I mean, talk about a good miscommunication Masqueretto does excellent miscommunications, and Punch Drunk Love is definitely one of those.
Punch Drunk Love is absolutely one of those. I do love it. I also did, I don't remember if you, well, I don't know if you'll remember this. When we were doing one of our episodes of the what table are you sitting at for Thanksgiving?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I got Living with the Dangerous Beast. Finally read it. It's on like a hiatus or like an end of season. And it is so good. So good. Apparently I'm really like dabbling in these stories of these like shifter people, because this one is also like a girl who's a shifter between like her human form and a fox. And then the male is in his shifter form from a human to a tiger. And he's like the predator of these lands, and he's been killing other foxes. But she like rescued him. He basically was cast down. He was like ready to become a god, but he was very unforgiving and awful. So they were like, start over. And he had to start over as a little tiny tiger cub. And so she took care of him and like helped to like help him grow, but he was like a grown up like the whole time. It's just that he was pretty defenseless for a while. And so he becomes really enamored with her. And she's like, I'm a fox and you're a tiger. That's not going to happen. And at the very end, he's like, oh no, like this isn't a choice for you. Like we're together now. And that's where it leaves off. I love it. I'm like, maybe these animal shifter ones are like my favorite for some reason, but I love it.
Oh my gosh. I mean, it sounds great.
I think it's just a great way to bring in like all of these different unknown elements.
Yeah.
You never know how it's going to go.
Who's to say?
I mean, who is to say?
Well, I have some very exciting news.
Okay.
I have just discovered that Broken Melody, which is one of my all-time faves,
It
is on Leeson. So, it is not on Manta anymore, but I am going to purchase it on Leeson now that I know it exists. So, just an aside, if anyone else was sad that it was gone, you can purchase it on Leeson.
I have an exciting announcement for you, Alex.
Oh, no.
There is a new series on Leeson that I think you're going to adore. I'm going to tell you the tags first.
Okay.
Heartwarming, older bottom, younger top,
Okay.
teacher student. And it just sounds perfect.
Oh my gosh, what's the story?
The story is called A First of Summers. It's about Lim Hyun-sun. He lives an ordinary life, and now he's reaching his 40s. He feels the urge to start something new before it's too late. He decides to take guitar lessons and joins a music academy. There, he meets Cha Yaram, who is a young and passionate guitar instructor. As their friendship grows, Hyun-sun begins to rediscover a sense of vitality and excitement in his life. When Yaram starts to reveal his tender affection for Hyun-sun, their relationship takes an unexpected turn and brings new challenges and emotions to the surface.
That's one I think we'll definitely be reading.
Yeah, I saw it and was like, that is a story for Alex. You know, when you find those, like I saw the tags, I was like, the teacher student, you know, everything else.
Yeah.
And then you see tags for me, and they're a little more demented, but that's fine.
I mean, I don't mean to call you out.
I mean, I'm calling myself out. I have demented tags, too. It's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just really felt like something that was really up your alley.
Oh, yeah. I will definitely be reading that one.
I know. So, I do also have a few final announcements from me. There are some upcoming returns that are going to be coming through. If you have been reading Lovesick Dog on Leeson, this is coming back with a side story in mid-January, so be sure not to miss that. I'm sure it's going to be beautiful, and it's going to be the fluff that we deserve after an ending that maybe wasn't as cathartic as we needed it to be after all of the trauma our poor babies have been through. However, When Fate Finds Us on Manta is also coming back for season 3, and Finding Camellia is coming back with the side story. Fortunately, they've tried to like wrap it up and make it not as bad in the end of last season, but I'm really hoping that they stay true to the side story, because I know that those epilogues in the novel were adorable and perfect.
Yeah.
So I'm like, please just give me this so that I can give you like a C tier rating.
I guess we'll see.
Don't break my heart again.
Oh my gosh. Well, to wrap things up, I have one more. I am going to grab this because I have completed my first series of the year, Faust. It left Manta on January 3rd, so I had to read it very quickly.
Is it coming back for gems or unclear so far?
So this one is available for gems now, but I wanted to read it before it turned to a gem-only story. We have discovered that, unfortunately, the trick that we used to use to extend our time when those stories were leaving of downloading the story no longer works. I did try to do this with a story recently where I had forgotten that I wanted to read it before it left the subscription, and I downloaded it, and it still turns to gems even when you download it, so unfortunately, I did not read that one.
Tisk tisk.
But I did read Faust. This is a fantasy romance, 71 episodes. It's about a man named Nine and a girl named Ada, and they are traveling around. So you see Nine has lost all of his memories, and Ada is trying to help him. So it's one of those stories where you're kind of figuring out things as you go along because the main character doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
So it ends up being a story about time. So Ada is the guardian of the past, and there is a guardian of the future. His name is Ignis, and they meet, like whenever they meet, it's called a perfect present. And so they're basically just going in a time loop, and it's an endless cycle of an apocalypse.
Oh.
So over and over again, Nine is having to relive this apocalypse, and he has just forgotten of his past lives in the apocalypse. And each time he comes to the end where he meets Ignis, and he has to choose to continue going forward. And he chooses to continue going forward every time. And you see at the end that he is aging throughout. He starts when he is a young child, and he's making it all the way through until now he's an adult wandering the world.
Yeah.
And it's a really, really interesting concept. I've never seen anything quite like this before. So the whole thing, you've seen the cover, is black and white, except for the main character's eyes are purple.
I love it.
That is worked into the story. The world has lost color, and there are monsters who are kind of zombie-esque monsters called cannibaloids. And I call them zombie-esque because if they bite you, then you turn into one of them. And they are drawn to color. So they're drawn to his eyes. People are drawn to the color of his eyes as well. They can't look at him, otherwise people will go crazy. The cannibaloids always come find him, and he is captivating everyone. There is a group of blood hunters, and they are going out trying to destroy the cannibaloids. It's an apocalyptic world. They're just trying to survive as a group together, but they're also not the greatest characters. And they are trying to capture Nine. They call him the treasure because he has colored eyes and no one else has color. There is another way to get color, though. If you kill a cannibaloid and you somehow get to the center of their core, there's a red gem, and they use those red gems to make bullets, to make swords, so any type of weapon that helps them fight against these cannibaloids even more. And it's such an interesting concept. I really liked this story. It shows, like, the theme of the story is really just hope in an endless journey of trying to make it through all of these trials and still continuing on, even though you don't know what's going to happen, or you think that the same thing that happened before is going to happen again, and trying to make it through life and trying to find all of the pieces that you can to change your fate and to change the fate of the world.
Yeah.
And they do end up doing it at the end. Ignis wants to consume God, And the reason is so that he can stop the apocalypse, because God is the reason that this keeps happening on a loop.
Mm-hmm.
And so he asks Ada for her powers and says, Ada, if you give me your powers, I will be strong enough that I will be able to change fate. And so then he becomes God, and he does change the fate of the world. So the apocalypse is no more. They've made it through. And now at the very end, we have Nine, and he is talking to Ignis, and Ignis is telling him, you know, you've changed fate. You're not going to have to do this anymore. You don't have to keep walking this path. He remembers that Ada told him any path you choose will be the right one, because time just keeps going in a circle. So there's no wrong path. Anything you choose will be right. And Ignis tells Nine that now he can go and find Ada again. She has been kind of reincarnated as a human. And Nine is like, will I ever see you again? And Ignis tells him, maybe you'll see me again. So Nine is kind of on his personal journey now to find Ada and Ignis again in this life after the apocalypse has not come to fruition again. Mm-hmm. And it's so good. I really liked this one. I, at first, wasn't going to rate it as high as I did. I've got it all prepped for my end of year. Mm-hmm. And I was a little confused at the beginning because they just kind of start throwing things at you, and it's just a lot to take in. There's a lot of characters that you meet right away. So trying to sort it all out it took me a little bit, but once I got into it and really understood the concept and like the reveal at the end, it was just so well done.
Yeah. Whenever they do that, I always wonder if it's a stylistic choice for you to feel as overwhelmed as the main character probably does. Mm-hmm. Like, you're going through the memory loss with him, so everything's a mystery just like it is. But then also when they're throwing everything at you like that, like, you know that if he has no memory of any of this, like, he's just as lost as you are. And so it just even further kind of puts you in that position.
Yeah.
So I'm always curious if it's intentional or if, like, sometimes they're just, like, they've built their own worlds. Mm-hmm. And so it's so easy. They're like, I know who this character is because they built it.
Yeah.
So I'm always curious if it's a choice on the author's part or not.
I love it. And I think my favorite thing about it is that the lack of color is worked into the story. We've seen black and white stories before. We've seen the stories where it's primarily black and white with maybe one or two colors thrown in, which this is. But I have never seen it worked into a part of the story where it is a part of the story. It's just the style of the story. But this time it was like an actual part of the story. So as they get through to the end, the world is in color again.
Yeah, it helps to kind of propel the actual storyline.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
I loved it.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to see what you rank it at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you all so much for joining us for our free-for-all. It was definitely kind of throwing everybody to the wolves a little bit, but it needed to happen.
It did.
There's a lot of good stuff happening.
We were the disgruntled puppy.
Yeah, we're disgruntled puppies. But anyways, thank you all so much for joining us. We're looking forward to talking to you all on the next one.
Goodbye.
Bye.